So you want to start a business, but you're worried about how to present yourself and who will see you as an authority when you don't really have that type of role in your 9 to 5. Or you want to develop leadership skills in your 9 to 5 and you don't have that title, but you're not quite sure where to start. If that's you, let's have a chat. If you're seeing me for the first time, welcome. My name is Rachel. I'm a speaker, coach, and consultant, and I help overwhelmed professionals to go up in their careers or transition safely out into successful businesses of their own. I left my corporate career for the freedom to live and work bi-coastal between the UK and the Caribbean. And so I continue to help others by putting plans and strategies in place so that they can live a life that they design rather than the one prescribed. So you want to show up as an authority, but you're not quite sure who will listen to you. The first thing you really want to get clear is that leadership is not a title or a description. It's about your presence, your influence, and how you show up in spaces regardless of your position. If you're the person that people come to for help in your organization, then you're already a leader, but that can cause a problem in itself, because if you're the person they come to, you've got the great ideas, you're dependable, you know what you're speaking about, it can leave you questioning your worth, because if you know all of this stuff, how come you don't already have that title or have not moved up into that space? Being a leader is about how you lead and manage, firstly, yourself. So if you start operating from a space of consistency and clarity, then that's the first step and you can build on that. This is why I talk about building your brand before you quit, because you have to develop yourself as a leader. You might not always have the title. You're not going to have the permission to say, okay, now you're a leader. You have to claim that as your identity and start embodying that. Otherwise, you will just stay stuck in positions you don't want to be in, waiting for somebody else to give you permission. So whether you're thinking about going up in your career or starting a business, there are 5 things that you want to do. Firstly, you want to start thinking like a boss. You may not be the leader on paper, but you are a leader in your own right, and you are responsible for your outcomes, which contribute to the greater whole. When you shift to start thinking like a leader, you start understanding the reasons behind decisions, and that helps you make better ones and changes how you show up in your organization. You need to be the person who will add value to every conversation and provide insights and solutions that will help move the team forward. People will naturally follow those who make things easier and clearer. So get really clear on your skills, your knowledge, and your experience. Remember, I always say to do a skills audit. Be clear about what you're good at and lean into those things, because that's where your foundation of being a leader and an authority will come from. You already are an authority. You just have to believe it. And if you're worried about how to show up as an authority, you want to be more visible, more vocal, and not quite sure how to do it, especially on social media platforms, then download my free LinkedIn Post with Confidence guide. That gives you some tips and strategies and what you need to be clear about so that you don't fall foul of policies and you can stand and show up and be visible as an authority in your field. So download your free copy in the description. The second thing you want to do is to manage your manager. It's all good managing across and being that authority when it comes to your colleagues, but you have a significant amount of influence over those who are above you. Learn to start communicating with your managers so that they listen, you make their lives easier, and they see you as a decision maker and a problem solver. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything that they say, but when you start showing up as a decision maker and a problem solver, they listen and they respect it. And think about how that translates to your colleagues. That means that you're going to start contributing to an environment that's supportive and connects. That type of leadership is felt not just across, but up the chain. And when you start flexing that muscle of communication and leadership and negotiation, it will help you if you want to go up the chain or as you exit out into your own business. Thirdly, you want to stay emotionally grounded, because being a leader brings with it a lot of emotional baggage, which can be draining, and you want to be able to protect yours. So regulate your stress, create and maintain boundaries. Do not get pulled into office politics, because that will pull you out of alignment and away from that space of power. Always keep your communication clear, confident, and calm, because people lean in, as I said, to that clarity and calmness. And there is more power and strength in being clear and being calm than in being loud and aggressive and stating your demands. Fourthly, think alliances and not audiences. You're not standing up as a leader just because you want to be heard. You're standing up because you want to connect and network and grow. It's not about getting people to follow you, but if you want to go up in your career or transition out into your business, then it's about getting people to know, like, and trust you. So what you want to do is start building that credibility through genuine relationship building and not just through self-promotion. And number 5, reflect, reassess, and recalibrate. All the reads. You really want to take that time to review, to reflect and recalibrate where you are. Ask yourself regularly, how am I showing up as a leader? What have I learned about myself this week? How are people responding to me? That's the kind of self-reflection that turns professionals into leaders. And that's how you become a leader when you haven't been one on paper. You start behaving like one. You seek good leaders out and look at their qualities. You may even want to shadow to see how they carry themselves, what their decision making looks like, and how you can emulate some of their qualities. That's how professionals turn into leaders and leaders turn into founders. So building that authority is about being in control, even if you don't have the title. So what can you do this week? Is there a meeting that you're attending for work that you can positively contribute to? And not just sit there and agree with what's being said, but actively participate and contribute and give an insight, give a solution, share some ideas so that you leave an impression, a tangible piece of contribution to that meeting. Or if it's about being an authority online and nobody knows who you are, how can you show up and be visible on your platforms this week as an authority in your niche? What can you share? What insight can you give? And if you need help, download the free LinkedIn Post with Confidence guide and let me know how you find it. Showing up as an authority and being a leader is about how you think, how you communicate, and how you act regardless of who's watching. So start showing up and leading from where you are, because that is where the opportunities come. They won't always come when you're polished. It comes when you're growing. It comes when you're showing and being in that space where you're able to receive. So how are you going to show up as a leader this week? I would love to know. Share it in the comments and I will see you in the next video. Bye.